The day exhales. Shutters close, fires dim, and the streets of your town fall into a hush that feels heavier than silence. Somewhere in the distance, a single note rings out. Low, resonant, ancient. The curfew bell. You've heard it every night of your life. It's not just a sound, it's a command. When that bell tolls, everything stops. You smother the embers in your hearth, whisper a quick prayer, and pull your cloak tight. Outside, the air smells faintly of smoke and damp stone. Because in the medieval world, night isn't peaceful. It's dangerous. There are no street lamps, no watchful glow from windows. Just darkness, thick and total. A single spark could set half the town aflame. And so, the bell tells everyone the same thing. Put out your fire or risk everything. Curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, cover fire. The name says it all. When William the Conqueror ruled England, he made the curfew law strict. Every evening, the bell would ring, and all lights and fires had to be extinguished. Disobedience meant fines, or worse, suspicion. You can almost picture it now. The sound of boots echoing in the narrow lane. A guard knocking at a door. A frightened family fumbling to hide the last flicker of flame beneath an iron lid. Because a forgotten ember could mean ruin. Houses are made of timber, roofs of thatch, and walls lined with dry straw. Fire travels faster than mercy. The rule makes sense, you think. And yet, there's something unsettling about how absolute it is. Once the bell sounds, even time feels different. The world shrinks to a whisper. You can't visit a neighbor. You can't drink by the tavern fire. You can't even light a candle without fear that someone might see the glow and report you. Darkness becomes the law. You sit by the hearth, now cold, and listen to the last embers sigh. Outside, dogs bark and then go quiet. Somewhere, a cat yowls and then nothing. Only the wind through the cracks in the wall. The curfew bell rings again. One final note to remind everyone that the night belongs to the church, to God, and to fear. It's strange to think how much control that single sound holds. It decides when you sleep, when you stop working, when your home must go dark. You've heard the elders say the bell keeps the peace, that before it, nights were wild. Thieves, drunkards, and wanderers roamed the streets. People vanished, so the bell became protection, a ritual to tame the chaos. And yet, it also became a leash. When the sound ends, you realize how used you are to obeying it. How even your heartbeat seems to slow in rhythm with its tolls. There's comfort in it too, in surrender. You don't have to decide when to end the day. The town decides for you. The bell becomes a lullaby, one that hums of safety and submission. You think of the watchmen outside, lanterns hooded to dim orange glows. Their steps move in pairs through the dark, voices low. They're not there to comfort, they're there to enforce. And if a window flickers after curfew, they'll knock. Sometimes politely, sometimes not. Because fire isn't the only thing the law wants to extinguish. It's also about control, of behavior, of movement, of thought. Night is when rebellion stirs, when secrets unfold. And a town asleep is a town obedient. You imagine the curfew bell not as a warning, but as a spell, one that binds the town in collective stillness. In monastic life, the rhythm is even stricter. Monks follow the bell like a heartbeat, marking hours of prayer, labor, silence. Even in the monastery, the couvre-feu echoes through cloisters, signaling the end of earthly duties. The difference between sacred order and civic control becomes thin, a sound wave between piety and punishment. The fire laws spread across Europe. In Paris, fines could bankrupt a household. In Florence, even blacksmiths had to douse their forges at sunset. And yet, despite all that obedience, fires still came. When they did, the bells rang again, but this time faster, frantic, desperate. A second sound, one for peace, one for panic. You remember the old story of London's Great Fire centuries later, born from a single ember left uncurtained. The very fear that birthed the curfew proved itself justified. But here, in your small medieval town, the law is older, simpler, and stranger. It's about the illusion of safety, the belief that by obeying the bell, the night itself can be contained. Sometimes you lie awake long after it sounds, staring at the wooden beams overhead, wondering what the world looks like beyond the darkness. The roads, empty. The taverns, silent. The churchyard, silver under moonlight. Somewhere, perhaps, a baker still kneads dough in secret, his hands white with flour. Or a young couple whispers under a half-shuttered window. Tiny rebellions glowing like sparks under an iron lid. But mostly, the town sleeps, and in that sleep, it feels orderly. By dawn, when the first rooster crows and a streak of light slips through your shutter, it feels as though the world is reborn, clean, quiet, safe again. You rise, relight the fire, and hear faint footsteps on the street outside. The watchmen are gone. The smoke curls upward, blue and thin. The bell will ring again tonight, as it always does. Its sound will roll across the rooftops, through the alleys, over the sleeping fields. You'll pause whatever you're doing, breathe, and obey. And maybe, for a moment, you'll think about what that sound really means. Not just safety, not just order, but the surrender of human will to the steady rhythm of law. Because in the medieval world, silence was safety, and the bell was the voice that demanded it.